titles, but I just want to bring it to our attention also that if there are properties, parcels of land or properties that have court judgments as title, court judgments as title. When you are transacting on such title, then you have to be very very careful because that the superior court, okay, and then when a judgment is from a lower court and they are flaunting that, the seller is flaunting that is title to the property, okay, you have to be careful. Okay, you have to get a lawyer involved in the extent of the judgment to understand the intricacies that are true. Is that there's a possibility if the judgments are not, the other person might go to appeal. So until the matter is resolved by the Supreme Court, you can't fully believe that the person that gets the higher is the right owner of the property. The Supreme Court, okay, you still have to get a lawyer to get the extract of the judgment, get full details of the judgment, and so that you know exactly what it entails. And I think with that, that's basically all for land title for now. Okay, let me just quickly mention one final one. Receipt. Receipt is very when you buy a land, you also issue the receipt. Okay, it has as small as it is, as important as it seems, is also very important because when you are registering the papers with your land with the government, you will see a part of the documents that you need to provide at the land registry for you to process for that document for that property. Okay, so I want to thank you for listening to me. If you have any question, like I said earlier, can note them down at the end of the session after our two guest speakers have spoken. You can direct your questions to any of us. I thank you very much for attending, for being online, for joining us in this webinar. And let me quickly, because I don't want the call to be long, so I want to quickly call on our first speaker, Mr. the MD of Santos Limited, Goes Adigwe, and I would like him to come on now, and then he will do a proper introduction of himself. Thank you very much. Mr. Adigwe.
Chris, do you know who this is?
Hello.
This is Dr. Katsubo.
Hey, Fido. How you doing, my brother?
How are you?
Good to have you on the call.
Yeah, I rushed back home to come and just quickly join. And I joined late, a little bit late.
Thank you so much.
That's okay.
Thank you, Dr. Kaduba.
Yeah.
And I don't go allow. We can always touch base and share details.
Absolutely, absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I want to deeply apologize for the break in transmission. Thanks so much, Mr. Chris Osara, for putting up this. Yeah, and again, too, I want to talk about my Oga here. One of my Oga is here. In short, my boss is here. Mr. Hassan Ismail. Mr. Hassan Ismail actually got me into this train of real estate, and when I make one or two little progress, I think I owe Mr. Hassan is my gratitude. Thank you so much, boss.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes. My name is Godsense, MD of Santos Properties Limited. I want to talk about the best parts or the best areas to invest in Lagos real estate. The best part of Lagos to invest. First, maybe I want to narrow it down to Nigeria, the best states to invest when it comes to real estate. And I believe Lagos is the best place to invest when it comes to real estate because so many of us are actually not from Lagos, but most of our investment destination is Lagos because from the recent study I read some time ago, it was estimated that about 35,000 immigrants are coming to Lagos on a daily basis. And these guys, they need place where they can lay their head, they need shelter. And so if you want to check the rate at which Lagos is getting populated, you realize that the need for housing, it's very, very much important. Yeah. So in Nigeria as a whole, the best place to invest your money in real estate is Lagos, in the whole of Nigeria. Maybe I can say Port Harcourt is joining, and I can say Abuja is on the line too. But number one is Lagos. Then when it comes to investing in Lagos, one of the best area you can invest is the Lekki-Egbe corridor. Yeah, it's the Lekki-Egbe corridor. Why do I say so? The Lekki-Egbe corridor is already developing. It's the developing part of Lagos. Last week, I was at mainland and I realized that mainland is actually crowded. And most of the building structures on the Lagos mainland, they are old structures. They are not modern. Most of them, even in Ikeja, even in Shomolu, even in you want to talk of Yanabaja, you want to talk of some other places. So there are no new structures that are emanating from the Lagos mainland area, and because of this, development in the Lagos mainland seems to will I say it's not outdated, it's okay, but we want to talk about place that new structures are springing up, area that people are beginning to move to. We want to talk about the Lagos Island houses. Yeah, Lagos Island has, in the sense that we have broad landmass. And we have good areas to develop. One of the reasons why you should though is because your investment has the potential of giving you massive returns. Yeah, your investment in the Lekki-Egbe corridor has the potential of giving massive returns. Why am I even saying this? When you want to talk about Lekki, for example, okay, Lekki, Aja, Shongotedo, Abijo, Epe, Ibeju-Lekki, these are the areas I'm talking about. So this Lekki-Egbe Expressway is the best part of Lagos. So throw your money, what's it called? In the next 2 to 3 years, your money has given you very, very good returns. Then again, I want to talk about why do people invest? In the real estate industry, I tell people, or is a general knowledge, that people invest for 2 reasons. One, they want to buy properties. They want to buy and sell later. It's one major reason why people invest. They want to buy a land, buy a cheap land and leave it like that for the next 4 or 5 years. The land would have appreciated massively, and then they will resell. Another reason why people want to invest is they want to just buy land and they want to build. Whichever way, I want to get the point that the best area to invest when it comes to modern infrastructure now is the Lekki-Egbe corridor. Yeah, and that is why Lekki-Egbe corridor it's one of the best areas to invest now, is because that is basically where the focus is now. Yes, someone like me would love to play in the Lagos mainland region because it's highly populated. But when you want to check, there are actually no plenty landmass. There are no big landmass for investors to key into, unlike this area. So that's it. Then again, too, when you want to invest, there are three things you consider very, very important. Number one is the title. Just like Mr. Chris Osara earlier said, the title on the property is very, very, very important. That is what guarantees the security of your property. Yeah. Buying a property without being sure of the title of the property is like taking on an unnecessary risk. Yeah. The title is what secures the land for you. It is what will make you have peace of mind. Like in the next 20 years, 30 years, I am sure this property is still going to be mine. The title. Then the other two is location. Location is important. Where your property is sited, it's very, very important. Is it near to shopping malls? Is it near to recreational centers? Is it close to where people are staying? I don't know if you are getting it. So location of the property is very, very important. But at least before you invest, you should even have in mind, okay, why am I even investing? It's your motive for investing in real estate. That's actually what will make you know where and how you should invest. So I earlier talked of title and I talked about location. And the third one is the acquisition rates. With these three points, with location, with title and acquisition rates, you can never go wrong when it comes to investing. Yeah. When it comes to acquisition rates, I don't advise people to buy into the Koyi corridor, into Banana Island. I don't even advise people to buy into Victoria Island. Why? Because these areas, they seem to have gotten to some kind of peak in appreciation. Yes, they seem to have gotten to their peak when it comes to appreciation. Where I will recommend that investors key into is from the Lekki area, like I earlier said, Lekki, Aja, Shongotedo, Abijo, Bogije, Ekpe, Ibeju, Lekki, Lakwe, Awoyaya. These areas, they are good places to put your money, and you are sure in the next 5-10 years, you should be earning massively. Yeah. Okay, let me quickly chip in this one. I'm bringing this to a close. Let me quickly chip in this one. There is nothing like bush in Lagos real estate. There is nothing like bush. There's nothing like bush in Lagos real estate. And the best time to buy into these properties is even when they don't even look like it. Yeah. Unfortunately, we all want finished products. A lot of us actually want to move into a house when it's beautiful, when it's already completed. We want to own a property that is in a developed area. But in this industry. Thank you so much, Mr. Chris Osara.
Chris, you are muted.
Sorry about that. So I was appreciating Mr. Godsent Adegupu for his presentation. It was awesome. a very great presentation. And thank him for his time. I said earlier before we began the presentation, before this webinar started, that we should reserve our questions. We should note them down. At the end of the presentations, we will take them. Okay. Let me quickly now bring on board the big elephant in the house, the big masquerade, the guy himself, the MD of iStone Development Company Limited, Azan Ismail. He will do a further introduction of himself. Mr. Azan, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Hassan Ismail, and I'm very happy to be among you.
Apologies, sir. Apology. I forgot that you got a doctorate degree recently. Congratulations once again. Please pardon my negligence.
It's okay. So I'm happy to be among you this evening. No silence. I'm not a big elephant. I'm just a small boy like everybody here. Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Mr. Chris. You have made my job to be very easy. And God sent, thank you for that expo into the Nigeria real estate markets and where to put in your money. So me, I'm just going to show you. Can anybody see my screen?
Yes.
So I'm just going to show you 4 ways of how to avoid being scammed when looking at buying properties anywhere in Nigeria, not just in Lagos. So I have just 4 points here, which I'm going to expand on. The first one is absolute transparency. So I have noticed with my little experience that most intending buyers of properties, they are not really honest to their agent or their realtor or to the consultant. You want to buy a property for development, for instance, and the realtor says, how much are you looking at? You tell him, okay, 3 million naira. Now you are looking for a property you can develop in Lagos State. And you say what you have is 3 million naira. When you come out for inspection, the realtor is going to waste your time. He will waste his time because you will not see property for that figure that will be suitable for that your developments. So you end up wasting the whole day looking for what does not exist. So we need to be open to our consultants, and it's like you are going to a doctor and you don't really know what the problem is and you're telling him another thing. So you will not get the right prescription. So that's the first one. Then the second one is accurate due diligence. Thank God Chris has talked about property titles, and property title is not enough when looking to buy a property. Be it freehold, accession, gazette, governor consent, whatever. It's not enough when you are doing your due diligence. Due diligence starts from picking coordinates of the said property. Ensure it is this property. Some people can send you a survey that is not the survey or the layout of that particular property you are looking at. The only way you can confirm that is when you get a registered surveyor to go to that land and pick the coordinates and correlate with the ones on the documents you have been given. That's how you know, okay, this is really the property we are talking about. Before you even start thinking, is it type C of O or not C of O? Even if it's C of O, you have to also chart that property and find out if it falls, if that C of O, if the coordinates you picked fall within that C of O of that property. So that's checking the title of the property under due diligence. Now, another thing on due diligence is if it is a large expanse of land, you have to find a way to move around the entire expanse. What I mean by large expanse of land, let's say you are buying 20 acres, 50 acres, which is about 300 plots. You have to find a way to move around that property and ensure the property it is as they claimed. Let me give you a proper example. July last year, my company wanted to acquire 50 acres of land in Ibejuleki. That transaction is entering close to about ₦1 billion. We have done all the due diligence. We've ascertained that this family have the power to sell this property. This property is theirs. We've gone to Alausa. Everything was beautiful. We've written the contracts and we were going there to sign and exchange money. Something that told me that, why not let's confirm if these 300 plots are as they said. So we started with the drone shots. Now you don't need to start walking around. We started with the drone shots. We now noticed there is a big river that cuts across the middle of the land. That was number one. We now noticed from drone footage that there were not just one, but two different dredging machines on that property. So we got our surveyors to take a canoe around the property to that river, and and you will be shocked what happened next. Our surveyors were detained by some policemen on the creek in the middle of that river. So it was that the dredging, those people that were dredging, they built a security post on that river, and anybody that tried to pass there, they just arrest you and keep you there. So 2 hours, I did not hear from our surveyor what was happening. They took their phones and, so until I now contacted the last family guy they talked to, that one now said, he remembered them going into that creek, that river, but he did not know when they came out. So I have to send another set of people to go and check what happened. Lo and behold, some policemen in the middle of that river, they've arrested those guys. To cut the long story short, out of about that 300 plots we wanted to get from that family, it reduced because of that river and the dredging happening on parts of the land, it reduced to about 20 acres. That's about 120 plots. Meaning about 280 plots, about 180 plots was out of that transaction. Now imagine if a plot is just 2 million naira. 2 million in 180 places is already 360 million naira. That was how we saved 360 million naira from that transaction. So due diligence does not involve going to the land, you stand there, you snap picture, then you go. If it's a large expanse of land, you have to do area survey, do topography survey, find out the extent of marsh, especially if it's a marshy land, find out the extent of marshiness or wetness of the land so that you ascertain how much it will cost you to do whatever project you want to do on that land. Even if it's for investments to keep, just have it at the back of mind. This is what you are buying. Then in due diligence, you have to really find out if really these people who claim that they want to sell this property, they are the rightful owner of that property. I have colleagues in the industry, developers in the industry, who have to buy property from 2-3 different people. Imagine, okay, most times, if you are buying large expanse of land from family in Ibeju, Lekki, Ekpe, if you are not careful, you may have to buy it from 2 or 3 different people. Now, what we now have to say, for that same thing happening here, just Abidjan, in a developed place. Someone sold property to one of my colleagues, and they did a deposit of 440 million naira with the hope that they will complete the rest if the documentation comes out. Lo and behold, when they now went to, along the process, they now got to find out that it is a AMCON property. The guy has borrowed money with that property. I'm talking of land, not even houses. The guy has collateralized that land and collected facility from the bank and refused to pay, and still went ahead and collected 440 million naira from these guys. So when they find out the guy was nowhere to be found, they have to pay another 440 million naira to these people claiming ownership of the land, because you can't just, because they want to keep their name. So if you are buying from family, is a terrible working, but if you are buying from estates, you are a little bit protected, because you will not get to experience most of this family bottleneck or having to buy from multiple people. Those indigenous or Monile, especially in this part of Nigeria, they can be very, very terrible. Even if you lock them up, take them to Alagbon, lock them up, you'll be happy you lock up somebody, they will tell you come back in 2 weeks' time. As they are getting out of that place, they will release them. And in that 2 weeks' time, they come up, they lie in the cell, as if they want to die, you'll be happy you lock up somebody. So it's very terrible dealing with those people. So due diligence is number key. That particular property that we saved 260 million from, we researched about 33 different properties before we now decided, okay, this is the one that looks like something we can do. Yet, we nearly lost money to that transaction. So due diligence is very key. It's very key. But if you are dealing with estates or registered company or legal entity, it's still a little bit because those ones have name to protect. And you can easily say you want to sue somebody or anybody if it's a corporate company. So those ones, they take their time to also do all this due diligence. And so the only thing you need to do if you are buying from estate is just to confirm the coordinates they give you is what it is. Then the next thing is you now find out, do they have a deed or a relationship from the family that says that this land they want to sell to you is their land? That's all. That's all. Then another one is zoning restrictions. Most people don't consider the fact that not every land is residential. By default, we always assume all lands are where we can build a house and start living, or we rent it out. Governments have plans and zone for different areas. Some places are residential, some places are commercial, some are agric zones,
Industrial.
some are industrial, some are for recreational parks. So if a place has been designated for industrial, you now go there and build your beautiful mansion there. It's just a matter of time. The present governor can assure you, he can give you CFO, give you everything. The governor is your friend. But what happens after 8 years when he's no longer there? So that's why diligence, doing the right thing when buying property is very important, because those people in government offices, Surveyor General today, is not Surveyor General tomorrow. So the only thing that will speak for you is your paper. There are some people, they believe because my brother is Surveyor General, you give me this registered survey, I'll apply for my CFO and I'll do a filling station there. In the middle of residential estates. And one day, the Surveyor General is no more, another government could come in, and they bring Caterpillar without notice, they pull everything down. Then you now say, the government is wicked. You say the government is wicked. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, our people have done what they know how to do best.
It is well.
I quickly have to switch to mobile internet from Wi-Fi. So you have to do your research very well. Now, let me give us free tip for some of us that are on this call. In Lagos State, now that's why I like Abuja. In Abuja, you will move in some areas in Abuja, and the whole of that area will look like a large estate. You will see some places they have blocks of flats, some places they have bungalows, some places they have duplexes. The whole city will now look like a very large estate because of these zoning restrictions. Makes everywhere beautiful. Like if you go to this upcoming area, Katampe Extension, Katampe, Wuye, you see the way they build, everything beautiful, like a large estate. But in Lagos, because I know this, I'm doing power, this place has been zoned for maybe 3 floors. Somebody will go and do 21 story. You'll go and do 21 story, then the building will collapse, people will die. So now, the free tip I want to give you on this zoning is that, see, there are places in Lagos State that they will say this area is agric. This area is residential. If you go and buy an agric land, hoping to build a mansion there, those people will come and disturb you. And there are some companies that know this, and they keep selling those kind of property to people. There are some companies, they know that this land is accession in process. They will not tell the buyer that this land is accession in process, they sell it as accession. And you will be happy you have bought a size land. When you now go to apply for approval in Alausa, they will not tell you, they can't give you approval without a registered survey. You now go, give me a registered survey. They will say, sorry, we don't do registered survey for land that has not been excised. Then you will now be waiting on the government to give a decision. So if you want to buy, make sure the place is not agric if you are doing residential, and make sure even if it is agric, that it is you can perfect it, you can ratify it, as Mr. Chris said during his presentation. There are some places, even though they say it's agric, you can ratify. Like there's a place in Ekpe called Igbonla. That place is agric. When I went there in 2019, before COVID, the whole of Igbonla does not have up to 2 estates. But when I went back this year, around January, February, there are more than 50 estates in Igbonla. Now, that kind of place, government does not have any other option than to do ratification. Because there are a lot of people already in that axis. So government have to ratify. So if you know that the place can be ratified, then there is no problem. Even if it's a decision in process or a decision in view, and you go to Alausa, you ask them, what's the way for this? Okay, you can ratify, pay this. It's okay. But you need to know beforehand. Some people will not tell you. because they want to make that money from you. They will not explain. Only few people will tell you that, okay, actually, out of the 50 acres that we have, 1 acre here does not have that residential stuff. So what we are doing with the government is we are applying for that. They will not want to explain all these things to you. So from your due diligence, you will find out if all those things are possible. So you find out if those things are possible. Now, again, let's look at the fourth one, proper titles. Now, when people are buying property, I notice that people are very keen about knowing this property, does it have a C of O or it's not C of O. Some, if it's not C of O, they are not buying. Now, do you know that with title, you can have two properties sitting side by side and they will be having different prices. Let me give you a perfect example. And on the Lagos Island, in Shangotedo, there are properties that you can get C of O. You can get for 25 million naira, C of O. Then you will not see another one beside it, 45 million. I mean, just a stone's throw. One is 45 million, one is 25 million. On the same road, it's not that they are far, on the same road. Now you now be wondering, this one is C of O, this one is C of O. Why is the price different? And they are on the same location. Now the reason is most of us, when we are buying property, especially property that have C of O, we don't take note of the unexpired interest. I think I need to type that out so that you see the way unexpired interest. When you are buying a property with title, C of O, what you are buying is the interest. The interest is basically the number of years on that property. We all know property has a tenure of 99 years. When you get a C of O on the property, it's 99 years. That one we know. Okay, sorry for that break. So we know that when you buy property with C of O, most times what you are buying is the interest. Interest means the tenure, how long the property is going before it will expire. And we all know that it's 99 years. But unfortunately, when you are buying a property, sometimes that C of O is not in that year. Assuming you are buying a property with a C of O that has been given in 2012, it means that C of O has already 10 years is already gone out of that C of O. 10 years has already been used from that C of O. What about if it was C of O that was given in 1942? 42 to now is about, is that 40 years or 60 years? So meaning that C of O has just 30 years to go. So you can't compare the price with a C of O that they just gave this year. So you cannot compare the price with a C of O that even 1 year has not been used from it. So that's one of the things you should consider when buying properties with real titles like C of O, governor's consent. You need to find out how many years is left from that C of O before you go and commit your money thinking you have bought property that has long tenure, not that the property is about to expire. Now, there's another thing about properties that have C of O, which we don't take into consideration, which is the reversionary right. That word came from the word reverse. Reverse is to like to counter or to cancel, to reverse an order, to cancel an order. So most of us don't take note of that reversionary right. Reversionary right means at the end of that 99 years, who has the power to go and renew the C of O? Now, if you go and collect a deed, that's the document transferring that C of O to you, and you did not state it in you did not add the clause that I take reversionary rights to this property, then the owner too just keep quiet, you too keep quiet. When the property is 99 years old, that former seller, the former owner, you can go and renew the C of O. If he's dead, he will tell his children or grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, that see, oh, my property at Ozumba in bad way, I did not give reversionary rights to the buyer. So when it is in the next, the tenure will mature in the next 40 years, maybe I will be dead by now. But take note, you can go and renew the C of O. They will not leave trouble for the grandchildren. They will not be fighting. It will not come up. The C of O will expire, another person will go and claim that property, and you'll be there thinking you have property somewhere. You will not know that some grandchildren have come and claimed the property for you. So just take notes, the reversionary rights, the unexpired interest, then you do your due diligence and ensure that the area you are buying is not zoned for power plants. Power plants or this power tension is going to pass across it. There was a property we wanted to buy in Badore, about 20 acres, very lovely area, close to the beach. We wanted to use part of it for waterfront, then the other side would be estates. When we now did our due diligence, we now found out that a 500 kVA power line is passing across that place, cuts that land into two, and the way it cut it, by the time you do the setback of 500 meters left and right, they have defeated the purpose for the use of that property, because you cannot build under high tension. You get. So make sure you do your due diligence, know the zoning for the stuff, take note of the reversionary rights and the unexpired interest. And I told you, due diligence is not about going to the land and do physical inspection. You need to go there with a, see, you know, even if you don't want to go there with a surveyor, with your Google map, you can walk around, walk like 500 meters, 500 meters, 500 meters, and pick points at interval of 500 meters, send it to a surveyor or take those coordinates to an officer. They will help you find out if those coordinates are actual coordinates of that property. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I will stop here so that we can take some questions.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, Mr. Hassan. God bless you. That was really value-packed. Okay, now we are rounding up gradually. We are reaching the home stretch. So now we are available to take questions. I'm going to take questions. If you have questions, can now unmute your mic and ask your questions. Or you can leave them in the chat box.
Mr. Richard, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Mr. Hassan, thank you very much for the presentation. It's detailed and it's quite packed. I have a few questions. The questions I have is with regards to the issue of reversionary right and the unexpired interest. I'm not sure I quite understand them. Could you please help us explain further? And the question of reversionary right, what document do you find that? Is it in deed of conveyance, or where do you find reversionary right? Which of the documents do you find that? And just help me explain again the unexpired interest.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Richards, for that question. So, as I said, every CFO has a tenure or maturity period of 99 years. So it means that when you have enjoyed that property for 99 years, it expires. You have to go and renew. Now, unexpired interest is the number of years left for the CFO to expire. If you are giving a CFO today, 2022, you have 99 years to use that CFO. The unexpired interest is 0. But if you are giving a CFO in 2012, between 2012 and 22, that's about 10 years. It means 10 years have been used out of the 99 years. So what you are left, the unexpired interest is 89 years. So what I said is, the cheaper or the smaller the number of years for that to expire, the cheaper the property should be. So that's the unexpired interest, the number of years left for the CFO to mature. So, and the way you get it, once they give you the CFO, check the year, they will write it there, that this CFO is given to Richard Bello on this day, 15th of May, 2002. So it is always written on the CFO. So by the time you subtract, what is left is the unexpired interest. Now, reversionary right is who have the power to now renew that CFO after it has expired. So if you are buying a property, the person that owns that CFO is going to transfer that title to you using a deed of assignment. A deed of assignment is a contract or a legal document transferring ownership from the previous owner to the new owner. Now you, that you are the new owner, since you know that something called reversionary right is always silent, you will tell the seller, see, I can only pay this money if I have reversionary right to this property. You will say, what is that? You say, if it expires, I will be the one that will renew my CFO. If you say yes, I will know wahala. So put it in the clause. Let it put that clause that me, the purchaser, have reversionary right to this property. So let it be there. Yes, that's just it. It's you that will put it there. You tell your lawyer that you want that clause to be there, that you have the reversionary right to this property.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's clear.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions?
Yes. Thank you very much for the invitation and for my brother who has spoken. Very insightful. I appreciate that. I just wanted to ask, because I'm getting a little bit not confused. So in Nigeria, if you buy a land or you buy a property, are they sold on what is called leasehold or freehold? So if it's a freehold, do I need to, how will I put it now? Because I know if it's a leasehold, that's when you have up to 100 years or 990, depending on how many years is left on that land. Do you have to, are you not supposed to know from the people selling it that, okay, it's either a leasehold or a freehold? Or I'm just trying to, because I'm just learning this for the first time. in terms of, Nigerian setting.
So who wants to answer that? Mr. Chris, God sent? Or is the question for me?
Yes, sir. The question is for you.
Oh, okay. So I cannot escape it. So that's a very good question. And anytime you are buying a property, especially the one that has C of O, once it has C of O, it is a leasehold of 99 years.
Just 99 years.
Yes, just 99 years.
In all the Nigerian property, that's how it works.
Yes. Once they stamp C of O, just know that it is a leasehold that will last for 99 years. So the ones that does not have that are the ones they call freehold. Some property they call them freehold, like especially in Ekpe, most part of Ekpe are freehold because government is not looking at doing maybe any serious project in that area. So they term them leasehold. But even those ones, before you can start doing proper development, you need to go and regularize and convert them to C of O. So they can be freehold pending the time you need to start using them. But once you want to start using them, you need to stamp them.
Yeah.
Oh
wow. Oh, that's why
some people will tell you that excision is better than C of O. You will see the argument online. They will say excision is better than C of O. What they're just trying to say is that when you have an excision, it does not expire. It keeps running like that. It's like freehold. Yes, it does not expire. But by the time you say you want to do serious projects on that land with excision, you need to convert it to either a governor consent or C of O or what have you. And now once they stamp it, it will start reading.
Wow. That's serious. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next question.
Okay. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Marcus.
Yeah, a very nice presentation. I want to ask Mr. Hassan, like you rightly mentioned, in an estate, if you acquire a land in an estate like the ones you mentioned, are you entitled to C of O?
This is a very beautiful question. If that estate has a C of O, you don't need another C of O because a particular portion of land cannot have two C of O, which is only one C of O. Now, how they will not transfer title to you for that portion is using a deed of assignment, not contract of sale. Contract of sale is just a document showing that you have paid in some money and you've collected your money, but when you finish paying, we'll give you deed. That one is contract. A deed of assignment is supposed to carry the coordinates of the exact portion on that estate. So they have to write the coordinate number of the exact portion. Even if it's one plot or half plot you buy, they have to pick 4 points at the edges and write it on that deed of assignment with a survey, a registered survey that now shows that that portion of the land though is now your own property. Now, if the estate does not have C of O, you will need to wait for them to process C of O, then they will not transfer title to you.
Wow.
Thus, they will process C of O for the entire estate, not just for your own portion. For the entire estate, then they will now transfer title to you.
Thank you.
All right, once again, Mr. Hassan, yes, it's me. Just a follow-up to that, to that question that you just answered now. Because I had a brother who bought a land at an estate. So I was asking him that.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, there is transfer for somewhere. If you're not speaking, can you please mute your mic?
Mr. Chris, hold on. Mr. Chris, hold on. Somebody is speaking in the background.
Honestly.
All right, I was, speaking a follow-up question to the one you just answered, sir. So, yeah. So if I buy a land in an estate, in a big estate, then they gave me a portion of my land. So that means that's a leasehold. I'm not the owner of the. I'm not the owner of the land. That means I have to be paying a ground rent every year. And so what happens to me? I cannot own that land. Is that what it means? Because I was asking one of my brother that bought such a land, that is it a freehold or a leasehold? What happens? Are you going to be paying the ground rents and all of that? He couldn't answer me. He just purchased the land and he's building on it. But I asked him to go and ask the people he bought the land from, because they have the C of O. What is the rule governing buying such, a land to build?
He will be buying. He will be paying ground rent every year for that portion he bought. He will be paying ground rent every year for that portion he bought. And the ground rent is not something that will cost an arm and leg. I think it's around in the area of 5,000, 10,000, or even less, depending on the size of the property. The ground rent is not much.
Right.
But you will need to be paying.
So what if I decide to now sell my property if I'm no longer in need of it? What happens?
So when you sell your property, you have sold the interest, the liability, everything to the new owner. So the person continues to pay that rent. The new tenants.
All right.
The new owner.
Okay.
The person will keep on paying.
All right.
Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Hello, I've been trying to talk since. Can somebody hear me?
Okay, hold on, Mr. Samuel. Mr. Christian has been wanting to say something.
I don't know if I'm clear though, that's my problem. If you can hear me, I want to ask a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Chris.
Okay, honestly, this issue of land is a problem. People want to invest, but it's so complicated, and I'm very happy for this session. According to Bola, your question and your clarity, I know there is a leasehold and there is a freehold.
Yes.
Listening to Chris Osara, yourself, and there's so many things in terms of titles.
Yes.
I want to speak as a typical Nigerian. I'm interested in having a land and I'm interested in freehold. Lagos is more complex, Lagos is more organized, but in Nigeria now, how do I get a land that I will target freehold? One. Number two, there is the complexity of getting governor's consent, C of O, is so expensive. There are complications. As the professionals here now, this is my mindset. How do I get this? I want to have a freehold. I want to get a minimal title that can give me comfort and to avoid the complexities of saying one C of O. And at the end of the day, like you said, Hassan, if I want to develop, I must not be forced to go to C of O. That brings me to number two question. It means if I want to do anything reasonable with the land, I must be forced to go to C of O. That means leasing. Is that what you are saying?
That's correct.
So two questions. How can I get a freehold and have my peace of mind and have full authority of my land or my property? And number two, that means am I compelled all the time to be at government's mercy, to always be on a leasehold? Then number three, please. In all these things you mentioned as title, the one that gives me less stress, deed of assignment, excision, C of O, governor's consent. If I can get deed of consent, am I still relaxed that I can be bold, rest assured that I have gotten something to give me the rights to my property? Those are the things I've covered, but I just need that complexity to be cleared. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chris, for that hard trick question. So the first one, if you want to get a land that has a freehold in Lagos, based on my small knowledge, where you can find that kind of land now is in Nepe. In Nepe area of Lagos State, there are a lot of freehold land zoned for residential purposes. They are just there. Nobody is doing anything. So those family, they have them in acres, 50 acres, 100 acres. They are just there. Nothing is happening there. So now, for you to now have that property and now have rest of mind that, I have property somewhere and government will not be giving me issue. You need to go and do a registered survey. You need to go and do a survey that will cover the entire expanse of land. That's when you can now start boasting you have property somewhere and you have comfort that governments will not just come and say anything. If they want to say anything, they should be ready to compensate you heavily for it because they gave you a registered survey for that area. And registered survey is not cheap in Lagos State. In Ekpe is about in Ibejuleki Ekpe as is about between 350 to 500,000. If you go to Shangotedu, they will tell you it's 1 million. If you go to Etiosa, VI, they can say bring 2 million naira per plot. This is per plot. Now imagine you have 50 acres in Ekpe and you want to do a registered survey for 300 plots. 300 plots times 300,000 naira per plot. We're already talking about 90 million naira. Now, that is why you find out that most families that own that property, because they don't have that money, they now partner with people like you that have that money and say, okay, since you have 90 million, come and sponsor this registered survey. We will give you 1 plot per acre, or we'll give you 2 plots for every acre. You can help us secure. So because what they have is land, they don't have money. So they are ready to give you land so that you can sponsor that payment for that survey. So that's what they call sponsorship. That's one way you can use to acquire those large expanse of land. Now, the next question is, if you have your deed of assignment, are you now comfortable that you are the owner of the property, there's no problem? Yes, there's no problem if that property has a proper title. What do I mean by proper title? It has a C of O, it has either a session, it has gazette, or it has a governor consent. But if it is just a session is coming, a session in view, freehold, somebody now come and give you deed of assignment. That deed of assignment is just binding between you and him. Because if you take that to Alausa or any land registry in Nigeria, and you say you want to process a governor's consent, they will tell you you can't do that because there's no registered survey for that area. Maybe the survey they gave you is it preliminary, they call it? Is it preliminary? Godsend, what's the name of that survey? The other survey?
Provisional.
Provisional. So maybe it's provisional survey they used to show you that they own that place, and they now cut out a provisional survey for you and now give you deed of assignment. Sorry, that's that one you don't have comfort from the government for anything. If they come, they want to do something, they can bulldoze your land and there's nothing, there's no compensation. There's no compensation. So I don't know if I'll be able to answer the 3 questions.
Yeah, thank you. So just for clarity, so which means if I have a registered survey, it's one good thing I must have, even if I'm having any contract.
Registered survey is powerful. If you have a registered survey, it's very powerful because it means, I say if you have a registered survey, it's very good because it means it's in the government will have a copy of it. They have a copy. So if anybody comes and they want to register that survey, the coordinate will show that we have registered this portion of land to Mr. Christian. So what are you doing here? But a provisional survey does not enter the government office. That one is just between you or your surveyor and whoever sold the land to you. So registered survey is another way you can get comfort for your property.
Okay, thank you. It's clear now. Thank you very much.
Mr. Samuel, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much for your presentation, sir. I really appreciate you for that exposition. So my question is based on C of O and the reversionary interest. So I wanted to ask, what if I buy a land as C of O, and on the issue of reversionary interest, if I've done governor's consent, showing that a portion of it, let's say one plot out of the 20 acres, the governor has consented or approved that one plot, the transaction between me and Mr. Hay, that okay, this land now belongs, this portion of the C of O now belongs to me. Do I still have to put in the reversionary interest clause in the deed of assignment, or the governor's consent makes it okay at any point and I can still do the renewal after the 99 years? Thank you very much, sir.
Very, very, very good, intelligent question. Now, to put that reversionary clause in your contract or in your deed is not costing you an extra money, because the lawyer is already charging you to prepare that contract or that deed. So I think it's safer for you to just put it there, regardless of whether you are going to get a governor consent. Don't forget, the governor consent is that same deed. Is that same deed that that seller gave you, that you are taking to Alausa to collect a signature of the governor. It's not that something is changing. The governor is not giving you new contract. It is that same deed that both of you have, that the governor will sign, that yes, I witnessed that so transaction has happened. I will not give government the signing fee, the money for the governor's contract, so for the governor consent. So if that clause is not there, the person can fight you. Even the governor ministered to this. You did not say you needed the reversionary rights. So it's safer to always put it there. Don't just accept.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, don't accept word of mouth. Don't worry. Don't worry. By that time we are dead now. 99 years. You worry too much. I say it's good. Just put it there. Let's put it so that. And since the person wants to collect money, he will dance to your tune, or he or she will dance to your tune. So it's good. You just put it there.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it, sir.
You're welcome, sir. It's like Mercy is raising up her hand.
Okay, Mercy, if you are ready, can you ask your question quickly? Mercy, your volume is low.
I said, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for a very insightful question. But I quickly want to ask. So, most of us that got land, we acquire property based on friends. Maybe friends tell us, oh, there's some property here, come and buy. We are not educated, we don't really know how don't get titles and all. We just want to have property so that we can have savings, give our property and have savings. So in a situation whereby you bought a land from a particular family and you paid, you have the receipt of payments and everything, you have what we call the deed of assignment between you and the seller. But for another year, maybe 7 years time, another family comes and say they have judgment over the land that they are not given out, that you come and pay again. That I should come and pay to another family that they are not true of the land, that case has been in court. So what do you do in that particular situation? Are you to pay the second family now that you have paid before? You now want to pay again to another family. What do you do in that situation? Thank you. That's my question. Can you hear me? Hello.
Mr. Azan, did you hear her?
Yes.
Did you get the question?
Yes, we got the question.
Okay, I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, the question says you bought property from a particular family, and after 5 years, another new set of family come to claim ownership of the property under the guise that the court has given them judgment to take over that property. So are you to pay this new set of family, or you two should go to court? And, so the simple answer to that question is yes, you pay the new set of family, as long as they can prove to you that they have a court judgment that the government now says the land is theirs, meaning you bought a dispute land without your proper due diligence. Then to chip in, how to avoid this kind of thing is, if you want to buy that kind of land and it's much, what you will tell them is, I will give you a deposit of so amount in check, but this check is clearing in the next 2 weeks. This is a strategy that has saved me and saved my company millions of naira that I'm giving you for free. You will tell them this check will clear in the next 2 weeks. But please, before this check clear, can you allow me to bring my caterpillar? I just want to clear 2 plots. Or please, allow me to put a signboard, a small signboard by this side, so that people will now know that this property belongs to Mercy and Co. real estate industry. When you are coming, don't come with small signage, come with big one, billboard, and come and put it there. If you succeed in putting, in fact, if you succeed in putting it down from the truck without people coming to fight you, that's #1 success. Then if you can mount it, people did not come and fight you, that's #2 success. Then if you mount it after 2 weeks, nobody come or nobody call you that the signboard is on the ground, then you will know that there's no dispute on that land. So if any other disputes come maybe in 5 years, then that's unforeseen circumstances. But you have to show a sign of taking physical possession for any land, especially large expanse of land, before you commit your hard-earned money. Even if it's 1 plot you want to buy, if you go there, make noise, stay there. Don't just go there in 2 seconds, you in a hurry, you leave the place, stay there. If there are people there play ball with them, tell them this, I'm here to buy this land. They say, who brought you? You will not say, see the person that brought me. We have gone to sites that some family took us to come and buy, that is grace of God that we used to escape. You know, because we have a habit of when we go there, we stay there at least 30 to 1 hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour, waiting, even if it's inside bush, waiting to see who is coming to say, what are you doing there? You get. So those are some of the ways you prevent this thing. But if any family come up and say they have court judgment, sorry, you don't have option, you have to buy it again from those people, or if you don't want to buy again, then you may lose that property, because those other family, they will not refund. Omonile does not refund money. They don't do refund. There is no refund. Any money that goes, the only thing they know how to do is collect collect. They don't know how to do refund.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Frank, you can go ahead. You need to. Good.
Hi. All right. Thanks, Hassan. Thanks, Chris, and the other speaker. Thanks for your time. This was really enlightening and just a quick one. You've mentioned a lot of, pitfalls. And my question is for those that just want to invest. We're not keen to go into, do your the due diligence. Do you have all that in your catalog? I'm saying you have catalog, oh, you invest here, these are your returns, you get 2%, 5%, 3% or whatever in 10 years. Do you have that kind of information available? Because most people don't want to be hands-on. People are 1,000 miles away, 6,000 miles away from where the property is. They just want to invest. So do you have a catalog? Do you have all that information available you can share, maybe?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, we have some offers, some catalog we can share with people on this call that they can take advantage on. Presently in Lagos State, most of the...
Not only Lagos, if you have in Abuja as well, because I know...
we have Abuja, we have Port Harcourt, we have Lagos, we have Ibadan. Then if you don't want to do Nigeria, we have properties in Dubai that you can, very attractive properties that can give you 20 to 25% rental income. That's in Dubai. Rental income that you can. Today is on the, like last week, I think last week we did some handover of some properties some of our people bought in Dubai from one of the developer. I just came back. So those properties are properties that you can, occupancy in that place, because of the kind of real estate they practice, is as good as 100%, 70 to 100%, because of the place is a tourist destination. So we have offers: Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Dubai. So we'll send it to Mr. Chris. I think he will share with people on this call.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for coming back to me with the details. Thanks.
So, Mr. Chris, you can take over. I think
yeah, that was saying there's a feedback. I don't know if you are not speaking. Can you please mute? Better. Okay, now we are rounding up. To appreciate our speakers for the value that they have provided for us this evening, tonight. I would like them to just introduce their estate development companies, MDs of estate development companies. So I would like them to share their estate with us, tell us, give us some information about their estate, and everything that we need to know about the estate in case there are people on the call who might be interested. Just give them some few, please pardon me, let us give them some few minutes to market their estate. Let's go with Mr. Gossent.
Thank you, Mr. Chris, for this opportunity. Our company is quite young, and we have 3 estates currently. We have few recent estate that we don't put into the market. And, we have our first estate, the Uptown, and we have Ivy Garden. The Uptown and Ivy Garden is located in the Boucher area of Ekpe, and the Royal Field is located in K2 axis of Ekpe. So these are the current products that we have. The Uptown is currently selling for 1.2 million naira, but we have we already have plans to sell at the prevailing rates of 1.7 million naira. That is in that area by the end of this month. Same thing with Ivy Garden for 2 million naira. Wow. Mr. Hassan will not be said that one. Mr. Hassan.
I'm checking what you are saying. I want to confirm.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan. But the Uptown Ivy Garden and Royal Field, these are the current products that we have in the market. Sorry, we've not updated our website on the current flyers that are available. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chris. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan. I must say that your session was very, very valuable. When it comes to property title, we can never learn enough. So the more we learn, the more complicated it gets. And to be sincere, I've learned a lot from Mr. Hassan's teaching this night on property title. Yeah. Thank you so much again, Mr. Hassan. Thank you, everybody.
So, Mr. Chris.
Okay, Godson, are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Hassan, tell us about your estate.
Okay, so my company name is called iStone. iStone is Keystone Bank without the key. So just remove key. Just remove key and you get iStone. So we are a young, promising company. We've been in the industry for 99 years. Though we are older than Nigeria. Though we are 2 years old, but we have 99 years experience. So we've seen what a lot of people have been doing. We've not been happy with what they are doing. So we said, okay, let's leave this real estate marketing or agency or whatever. Let's go into the development space so that we can correct some things that people are doing that we don't really like. So we launched iStone Development, and we are about 2 years old now. We'll be 2 years in October this year. So currently we have 2 properties in Ekpe. The Capstone one, which sold out, that one we sold it out within 3 months of launch. Then we have the Capstone 2, which we are still currently selling for 2 million naira per plot. Then we have the Gemstone in Ibejuleki. In Ibejuleki, we have the Gemstone 1, the Gemstone 2, the Gemstone 3. Now, people on this call, and I'm sure Chris and Godson will be surprised. Which one is Gemstone 2, Gemstone 3? So people on this call, you are opportune to get to know about that. The Gemstone 3, we just mounted the signage this Friday. That was 2 days ago. People don't even know that it's in the market yet. So the good thing about this property in Ibejuleki is that they are beachfront properties close to the beach. From the estate, you can walk within 3 minutes, you are in the beach. And there's a research that shows that life expectancy for people who stay by the beach is better than those who stay on the hinterland. And is out there. So that's why beachfront properties are highly in demand and they are sought for. So, and the good thing about this gemstone is that it's sharing boundary with the popular Amen Estate Phase 2 that is selling or that sold out 25 million naira per plot. Now, because this is a young company, young estate, and we have not built houses yet. It's still a virgin piece of land that we just took possession by starting the perimeter fencing and gatehouse. We can't sell at 25 million naira. So we are selling 7 million naira per plot with the title excision. And if you are looking to buy the gemstone 2 or gemstone 3, you can get those ones at 5 million naira. They are on the same axis. The same as just a kilometer apart for the properties. So in the offering, I promised to send, we'll include these properties we just mentioned, the Uptown Courts, East Capstone, and the Gemstone. So they will be there so that you can get more info about the properties. Thank you so much, Mr. Chris, and thank you everyone for having us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been quite awesome day and awesome evening. Value packed. I've learned a lot. I've been educated. You know, I've been around for a while. You never stop learning. Never stop learning. Every session, you learn something new. The last time I was at a Mr. Gossent event as a panelist, I also learned a lot. Thank you for the other day, Mr. Gossent. It was awesome. So thank you. It's been an awesome day. I don't know if anybody wants to ask any question concerning the estate. Maybe for another 5 minutes as we begin to round up. Like I said, I don't want this call to be more than 2 hours. We are not to be 2 hours by 10:30. I want us to end the call before 10:30. So maybe 5-10 minutes to take questions on the estate. Or if you have any question concerning the estate you have just mentioned, you can quickly ask them as we round up.
Okay, sorry. The question, when you say the estate now, is talking of like Hassan and Gossent.
Mr. Gossent, yes. Yes.
When we say estate now, it's like talking of the virgin land, right?
Yes.
And then also when you, if by the time you get it, I mean, what is like, okay, you get it on your own to build what you want, or you guys already have a kind of pattern you would want to make the estate look like, or is there something so that anybody buying will know what he's looking up to? I think we need clarity on that. Then this issue of the cost of the money, I mean the amount, I want to believe it's clear that is the 5 is the 5, not a situation of okay, there is some additional this, there is some agent or all those kind of things that instead of 5 million, you now hear the thing has ended up more than that. It's just a question. It's not about the 5 million. I mean, whatever you are selling, is that what we are paying directly? And also, what is the plan for the estate? When you get the land, can I just come? Sarah come, build duplex, where I come, build bunga. So what's the plan for such estates? Thank you.
Gossent, want to answer?
Yeah, that's my question.
Thank you very much for the question. All our estates, they are planned out, and for the Uptown estate, all I put now.
Sorry, Mr. Gossent, I'm not hearing you too clearly. Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
it's better now. I wasn't hearing you before.
Okay. For the Uptown, Ivy Garden and Royal Field, you can put whatever structure you want, provided it's not a face me, I face you, provided it's not skyscraper building. And we still have some facilities that is not that we are not planning to host in the estate community. But you can actually build your normal bungalow, you can build your blocks of apartments, you can build your duplex. Like I said earlier, the Uptown is 1.2 million naira. And the man that asked question said there are additional prices. Are there additional prices? Maybe when I buy at this amount, I am still made to pay extra. I'm still almost going to pay times 2 of the cost of the land. Yeah, I just put it like this. Just like you're ordering for a car from Canada, you are buying a new car, and you want to ask if the cost of the car is 2 million naira for example, you ask yourself, are there some other charges? The answer is yes. You have to pay for transportation to ship this car down to Nigeria to your house. You want to pay the driver that will make after the car has gotten to Nigeria to your residence. That's if you are staying in Abuja, you are staying in Lagos. So all these things will come at you. It's not it's in the that does not mean that you have not vehicle, but there are some other charges that are necessary. Same thing applies to real estate. There are some other charges too that are necessary that just come with acquiring a property. And these charges, we call them statutory fees. They are your deed of assignment, your development fee, and the what's it called? The your deed, your development fee, and the
survey.
Sorry, the survey. Like we all know, it's okay for the things it's registered survey. It means that we are going to register your facility for outside. Of course, we have the already made survey paper to you. That one comes to me. The legal work, handing over the property from the company to you. That property is now yours. It comes with a fee. Those are documents you are majorly going to receive. The fee is development on site. That's why people buy from real estate companies, because they want peace of mind. To have peace of mind. When we are seeing our estates, we are doing this because we want our investment in our care to be secured. Currently, we are fencing one of our projects, Ivy, and about just bringing it so that people see that yeah, this needs actually work it. No, number one reason why we are flying properties is not to secure it. You don't want money to disturb you. Money disturbs us a lot, and we are bearing the stress on your behalf. You see that? So the development fee you are paying is actually for us to be able to put in this necessary infrastructure for you. Why to have peace wherever you are. Yes, the money I pay this company for this property, I ensure that the company is securing it. There's always an additional, but it's a matter of okay, how much is that property? This particular property is the additional fee, and it's influenced by government. Is influenced by government, just like listen. Survey varies from location to location. In the Egbe area, 1,000 to 500,000. When you get to Lekki, another thing. When you get to Dryland, Ikeja, something else. So all these things, they constitute the additional charges. Yeah. Hello.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Azan.
No, Mr. Gossett has dealt extensively on that question. That yes, there are other payments you make after purchasing the land, the deed of assignment that is transferring ownership. There is some transferring ownership to use the development levy and the survey. Now, the good thing is most companies on their form, they put it that, okay, you are going to pay for this, so that before you subscribe, you already have an idea of total costs for the property. So it's normal. The statutory fee, they are always stated on the FAQ, frequently asked questions for the subscription form of the estates. So
Yeah.
that's basically.
Thank you. I think that is one point I wanted to make. You know, it's always better to have full disclosure so that people don't have assumption. Most times when people want to invest, they invest based on their capacity and expected income. So I've also noticed I've had situations like that where in the course of time you see different requests for different like you spelled it out like that. It wasn't spelled like that before. So for those of us that may want to involve, it's better we have an idea. So if you are saying 5 million, I'm not looking at 5 million. The person is looking at what is the total thing to give me complete comfort and ownership. So those information are also important to also be communicated, if not on the initial sale, but let the person have a foreknowledge that these are expectations so the person can project also. Thanks for the clarity and also for the answers to the question.
And if you are looking at buying the whole estate, we can give you some discount and consideration. See, let me not digress. There's one of my colleagues whose client was in child naming. So we went there and gave him a plot of land as gift for the son that he was naming. So the man looked at it. He said, you did this? How many plots is left in the estate? We say, Oga, he go reach like 70 plots. He said, sold.
Wow.
He said, sold.
Wow.
He said, just go and remove stop marketing it. I've bought it.
Awesome.
So I don't know
whether Chris want to do like that.
What we have left.
That's good.
It's been a nice
Okay.
thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mr. Godsent. We are very grateful, Mr. Azan Ismail, always on point. I'm very, very grateful for honoring our invitation, for speaking to us, for educating us, for making us better and better informed concerning real estate. I'm so grateful on behalf of all the attendees, some who have logged up already. I want to say a very, very, very big thank you to you. And to my audience, to the attendees, I want to say thank you for coming, for logging onto the call. God bless you. If you require further clarification, need anything, you know where to find me, you know how to contact me. My phone number is, the social media handles are always open and available. You can contact me easily. I'll be on point to deliver to you whatever question you have, whatever request you have. I'll be able to get across to them and bring them to you. Thank you so much for making this call a huge success. God bless you all, and do have a wonderful night rest.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hassan.